What's going on, guys? Welcome to another one of BlackIron's battles. Today we're here with the semifinals of Shadow Online Gaming's YouTuber Spring Tournament. And you see I am using my Chaos Army and I am up against JonTaun and his Empire Army. Now, JonTaun is a fantastic Empire player. He is amazing, a great tournament player. He's got a YouTube channel, Total Warhammer. Check that out, as well as check out Shadow's channel. And he is definitely a tough opponent. So I know what I'm up against, and I brought just whatever I thought I could bring. And first off is going to be Sartorial the Everwatcher. So we did bring the Warp Chicken himself. We did want to make sure that we get that magic resistance as well as that missile resistance. So it'll be doubly as good against the silver bullets. We've also got metal shifting here. So when he's casting, he adds armor piercing and weapon damage. We've got Plague of Rust, Final Transmutation, and Standard Dive. So besides that, we've got a bunch of units here in the front. We've got some Chaos Warriors. Now we wanted them with shields so they could take up any any handgunner fire. We've also got Chaos Marauders here on the flanks with great weapons there to do that armor piercing damage. In the back here, we've got Chaos Warriors with halberds to deal with anti-large and to take down. They've also got some armor piercing as well. Here in the back, chosen with halberds for their anti-large and also for their armor piercing, and they just have great defense stats. So that 54 defense will hold up for a while. Over here on the flanks, we've got our mobile harass force. We've got our 2 Chaos Poison Warhounds. Just awesome with their 95 speed. They add poison, and they'll be able to just get around the flanks and kind of help the Marauder Horsemasters over here catch anything they can. My Marauder Horsemasters, they do have good 37 missile damage. Although it's only 8 armor piercing, it's not great, but at the same time, it's not terrible. And they do have 45 models each. That's like 90 missiles being thrown. So it's a pretty good amount of armor piercing damage at the end of the day. Here in the air, we have got our Exalted Hero, and we have got him on top of a Mana Core, which in hindsight was probably not a great idea because all I brought for anti-air was these 2 Marauder Horsemasters, and he's just got so much he could do, and as you can see, he has done it. He's brought Boris Todbringer up there, and Boris will cut that Exalted Hero to pieces, so it is not a good place for my Exalted Hero to be. Up against an Empire, especially with the amount of Pistoliers, Outriders, Handgunners, Silver Bullets. I mean, there's so many things that can shoot him down. That was probably just a waste of gold. So here in the front, you can see that JonTaun does have the Reiksguard here, and I just love the way they look. Those are those anti-infantry elite cavalry. They're not quite as elite as some of the Bretonnian cavalry, but I mean, these guys are just really strong. He's got 2 groups of Reiksguard here in the front. He does have some just some regular spearmen there with a chevron tossed on them. They're meant to hold the line, while the Reiksguard do the real damage. And also, while these 2 units of actually 4 units of greatswords and these 3 units of handgunners do the huge amount of damage. I mean, there's just a ton of handgunners there. So 4 greatswords, 3 handgunners. It's a pretty standard army. Here, besides Boris, he does have for his caster, he does have a light wizard, and that is really going to be the icing on the cake there. He's got Barona's time warp, so he can increase the speed and attack of his allies. He's also got that net of Amantok, and he does have the power stone, so he can get the power reserves and the recharge rate. So it's looking pretty good. He's got a lot of damage there, but at the same time, I'm going to be able to cut through him. So my Chaos Warriors will cut through those spearmen, no problem. I've got shields to soak up all the handgunner fire. Sartorial should be able to get in the back lines, and I really am feeling okay, except for this pick of the Exalted Hero on the Mana Core, which is not really my favorite. So we'll go ahead and let's get this battle started. You can see everyone just start to advance here, and I start to bring the ranged units around this flank. So my whole goal here is I'm going to try to get in the back line here. I really want to take down those handgunners, and I really don't want to give them too much of a chance to shoot at me with the handgunners. So I'm really trying to move in here. You see, I'm keeping the Exalted Hero way in the back. I do not want him to engage, and so I'm just going to keep him in the back at this point, because there's not much I can do with him at this point. So we'll just keep him in the back and save him for a better time. Here in the front, you can see those Chaos Warriors are going to get charged, and that is actually going to be a huge amount of damage coming in there. You can see here that Boris Todbringer is also going to come up in there, and that is almost a quarter of the health off. Even though it's only taking about 4 models off the Chaos Warriors, that is just a huge amount of damage. Over there on the right flank, you can see all of my Chaos Marauders with great weapons engaging with his Spearmen with shields over there, and those Chaos Marauders are going to cut them to pieces. Over here on the right, the Chaos Warriors are going to engage with more Spearmen, but they're going to be mixed in with Great Swords right here, which will be super strong. You can see in the back there that those handgunners are taking a pretty big hit from Final Transmutation, as well as the Reichsguard, I think, got it for a little while. But it doesn't do as much damage as it could. Here in the back line, you can see there we're charging those Chaos Poison Warehounds. And now those are actually, I think those are considered to be small units, so they're not going to take additional anti-large unit from the Spearmen, but they don't have good sustained combat stats, so they'll have some trouble there. Here on the left flank, you can see that we are going to start to try to bring our Marauder Horsemasters around. You can see they're fighting some Spearmen with shields over here. Not really a good use of these Marauder Horsemasters. I wish that I was getting a little bit more use out of them. At the same time, you can see our Chaos Warriors here are down pretty heavily. We've got these Great Swords down to about half, and here on the right side, we're doing okay. I mean, the Chaos Marauders with great weapons are starting to take over the Spearmen with shields, but I think I can get lucky. I go ahead and come in here with the Exalted Hero. I think I can take out that Light Wizard. At the same time, I've already taken heavy fire. Look, he took about half his health. Look at 2 volleys from those handgunners, and he is pretty much gone. So that's just about that, and that is just completely wasted gold there. So you see losing that Exalted Hero right off the bat. We've got the Warp Chicken here, and Boris Todbringer is chasing him down as well, and he is just, even though I'm flying around here, Boris is going to chase him, and every time he catches him, he puts a major hit on him. So even though I did have a pretty good engage in the beginning, I'm really starting to lose this engagement over time. I mean, there was a ton of Spearmen and just completely overwhelmed my numbers here. And with being supported by those handgunners in the back, we're having a really hard time. It's really the Reichsguard charging into the back, and you can see what's getting close here. Even though they have halberds, these Reichsguard are still just taking these Chaos Warriors out. Here in the back, you can see that Sartorial is caught by the net of Emmentalk, and he is being targeted. Even though he has a huge reduced missile damage, it didn't matter. So the thing was, I think that JonTaun may have had a feeling I would bring Sartorial. So what he did is he didn't bring the Silver Bullet. So all of his handgunners do a little bit more damage than they would have otherwise. Here in the back, you'll see we're charging Sartorial in. We're trying to get as much damage off as we can. I think we may get one more Final Transmutation here on this huge clump of units. But at this point, it's a little bit too little, too late. And round 1 of the games, the semi-final games here, it looks like it's about to go to JonTaun. If we zoom in here, you can see that we still have some Chaos Warriors fighting. They're going to turn. They're going to fight. I think that was actually my. Yeah, no, those are the Chaos Warriors with halberds. They're in there fighting against the Reichsguard, covered in blood. But JonTaun is just moving. He constantly moving, constantly cycle charging. You see those Reichsguard have 77 kills. And even though we have managed to see here in the back, we're going to get a nice charge. We're going to get those Marauder Horsemasters. I think it was just a little bit too little too late. My Marauder Horsemasters, I told them to come around the side when I sent in the the Exalted Hero there, but I think they just, for some reason, they took such a roundabout way. Maybe they were chased off by these Spearmen or something, but by the time they got in, it was just the fight was already over. You can see the Marauder Horsemasters here. I mean, they did get in there and kill those handgunners. If I had them in the beginning of the match, just cycle charging into those back lines with those Reichsguard, I mean, it may have been a little bit of a different outcome, but as it were, you can see here Boris Todbringer, the Toadbringer himself, fighting against Sartorial. He is just going to destroy Sartorial. I mean, look at that, 40 melee defense, and right now Boris has 73. Was a 73 melee attack. So pretty much one big hit here. I mean, there's you can see we're charging in there. I mean, but he is the only one left. Everyone else is broken off, and game 1 goes to JonTaun of Total Brohammer with his Empire, his great Empire play. I hope you guys liked his build. I mean, I thought I was going to counter a lot of that ranged units, but like I said, I just didn't get those Horse Masters in play soon enough. I mean, these were pretty much a non-factor until they got in at the end. They would have been, if I had been able to get in there and kill these handgunners, would have allowed my Exalted Hero to be a little bit more of a factor with its fear and terror that I was hoping would kind of rout off a lot of these these weak frontline Empire units. But I really wasn't able to do it as much as I'd hoped. I mean, we did get a couple final transmutations off. They didn't do as much damage as I'd hoped. I mean, my Chosen with Halberds, of course, did really well. But, you know, he was able to kill those Chaos Warriors really quick. I mean, if you take a look at JonTaun's Greatswords here, it's just huge amount of kills across them. They were, once he broke the charge with those Spearmen up in the front, and the Spearmen with shields, then he was able to countercharge with those Greatswords and just get huge damage done on my front line. I mean, we did catch some, like, these Chaos Marauders got 55. They caught a group of Spearmen. But overall, there just wasn't a lot of kills on the majority of my Chaos Warriors just because of the huge damage being done. I mean, these Reiksguard were just charging in. They were charging in the back. I wasn't able to get my Chaos Poison Warhounds around the edges like I had hoped. The Marauder Horsemasters. So my mobile units, I mean, he just out-microed me, just greatly outplayed me with those mobile units that he had. The handgunners, of course, did a ton of damage, and it was just a great game overall. I mean, I could not fight Boris with Sartorial, although I was able to keep him alive to the end. It was a great game, just did not go in my favor. So I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. Go ahead and check out Shadow Online Gaming. Check out Total Brohammer. And, you know, go ahead and subscribe below. Hit the notification symbol if you'd like to find out more about these videos I keep putting up. I've got another one going up here against my Game 3 against Professor Pone in that best of 5. So go ahead and check that one out. It's a really good match. I hope you guys have been enjoying all the stuff we got going. We got a lot of more cool stuff coming soon. So we've got round 2 of the playoffs of the Wild Hogs Blood Bowl League. We've got all sorts. I am actually, I think maybe gonna start trying to get a little bit more into those weekly tournaments they've got going on the weekends and stuff. So you know, I've been practicing up, trying to get my builds right and get ready to go. So keep an eye out, guys. Coming soon. We got more content, and this is BlackIron. This has been another one of BlackIron's Battles.